everyone. Welcome to July 2020. This is Stephanie McCullough, founder of Sofia Financial, coming at you with your monthly dose of financial good luck. So, pre-pandemic, I had christened this year the year of care. That was kind of my theme word to guide my thinking and my business and my conversations with clients. Who knew what we had in store for us? I feel like in the wake of everything we're living through right now, the theme of care has taken on additional dimensions. So, for one, the pandemic really has laid bare and made undeniable the inequities in our society, right? Everything from the majority of essential workers barely making a livable wage and being more at risk for infection. More people of color are getting sick and dying of COVID. And it's long been true that the economic playing field is far from level. The protests in the wake of the death of George Floyd and the increased and broadened attention to the important work of the Black Lives Matter movement. To me, care means caring for all of our fellow humans and really paying attention to the structure of our society, the culture that dictates the opportunities people are given, how they're treated, the obstacles that are put in their path. So how can we think about how our actions make a difference in that score? And then number two, the other thing, the crisis, the pandemic really has laid bare our own personal financial vulnerabilities, right? When things are okay, we might skate by fine without an emergency fund or life insurance or income protection. The trouble is you have to put those things into place before you need them, before the crisis hits. So in light of the pandemic, the theme of care comes up because we're seeing just how surprising the world can be, just how fragile our lives are and our situations, right? Whether we're talking about our health and the health of our loved ones or our financial situation. A job we might have thought to be secure and safe is suddenly gone. Our health that could have been strong might now all of a sudden be tenuous. In financial planning, a big part of what I do is to talk with clients and help them think through the things they really don't want to think about, right? What could go wrong? It's been proven that the human brain is actually bad at imagining how we would react in a situation we're not facing right in the moment. So for example, if I'm talking to someone last December about how they might feel about market volatility and seeing negative numbers on their investment statements, they could easily have been one of the very many people who think, oh, I wouldn't worry about it, I wouldn't stress. I know that this is long-term money. And then came March of 2020, and there were real negative numbers on the statements, and people were very nervous. And it's not to say that's a bad reaction. It's important to think about, okay, what happens if my investments go way down and stay there for a long time? What do I do? If I lose my job, if I become ill, if I die and my family is still around, what happens? We have to think about those things, as unpleasant as they may be. I found as people are more willing here in 2020 to talk about those things and to put things in place that will help in those situations. Ordinarily, right, we almost have to trick ourselves. We have to kind of do a visualization or some kind of exercise to emotionally put ourselves in the situation of a crisis. But 2020 has kind of helped with that, right? It's not just such a stretch to imagine these things happening because they are happening all around us. So what do we need to think about in the what goes wrong category, right? One, I mentioned investment performance. Make sure you have some assets that are not tied to the markets. Emergency fund, cash, life insurance cash value, bond ladders, there are things, but you have to put them into place ahead of time. Number two, what happens if you become too ill or you get injured and can't work? Income protection, there's a solution to that, but again, you've got to buy it before you need it. You have to put some money towards putting that safeguard into place. For many of us, most of what we want to build, most of what we're hoping to do in our life is dependent upon our income. So if that income goes away, everything gets blown up. Or if we're part of a dual income household and one income goes away, a lot of what we wanted to do might now be impossible. And then number three, what happens if I'm gone? Are there people who financially depend on me? If they're left to fend on their own, what happens? Spending money and time towards these efforts is not fun but it's a big part of financial planning and financial care. So take a moment and think, what have you neglected in your financial planning? If you've got a financial advisor, ask them. If you have a life partner, have a conversation. If you're single, find a friend, talk to a sibling, talk it through. If you'd like some professional guidance, please reach out. I'm happy to have a free conversation. It could be that we're a good fit to work together. I have lots of other professionals I know who can help you as well. So please, no one likes to have these conversations. We're all guilty of putting them off. But when a crisis hits, and something will happen at some point, you'll be so glad you did. Stephanie McCullough signing off. Rabbit, rabbit. Good luck, everybody, and see you soon.